load. Welcome stream. Let's see what we can get into.
Welcome to Martindale Somewhere Inside, featuring Coast to Coast AM from November 2nd, 1925. Down in South America, North Coast to Coast AM. Everybody else is wanting to because that's how it is. Anyway, last night, I want to bring this up from, we mentioned that Ronnie. Last night, I want to bring this up from, we mentioned that Ronnie. About a thing called the Good Times Virus. I think it's running around randomly, eventually on the other line oil. Some people say it is a hoax. A lot of people say it's a hoax. Maybe it is a hoax. You know, that would be good if it is a hoax. Nevertheless, if I were to get, let me put it this way, if I were to get a message, you would get the faster than the speed of light. I sure looked up at it, so maybe a third in the computer skills. So now I was able to mention, but I want to mention first, this kind of personal joy. And I'm able to say about it now, and uniquely how I can. You know, it remains a very interesting day. Today, on April 2nd, the 75th anniversary of commercial broadcasting in the United States. Station KDKA in Pittsburgh is credited with the first broadcast of November 1920 with a broadcast of the Harding Cox election returns. Asking the audience if they heard the newscast. Then they should respond by writing to the station, and that was sent to me by my board op, Rick Jacobs down at KTUC. But I'm giving you some idea of how I think as many of you know, my wife is also an ex-broadcaster. I say ex only in the sense that she's not presently on. We've toyed with her doing a show and so forth. But on the 75th anniversary of commercial broadcasting, we went out, got some attorneys and broadcast engineers, very competent people, and my little town of Drum, not technically a town, I guess we're sort of an area of assembly. We have not incorporated as of yet, though there's a big fight going on about that. We filed with the Federal Communications Commission. My wife filed in her name for a radio station license to broadcast here in the little town of Toronto. And the filing date is now closed, and one has to keep one's mouth shut until the day it closes. So I thought it was kind of unique that my wife filed her application on the 75th anniversary of the initiation of all commercial broadcasting in this country. It will be a big one, 6,000 watts FM radio station here. And there's not a whole lot of FM here, to be honest with you. In fact, there is really only one station licensed to the area. Serves this area and Las Vegas. And there was a time when you could not walk into any establishment in this town, in this little town, without hearing that station playing in the background. And they played oldies but goodies. It is one of my favorite formats. I love oldies, rock and roll. And at some point, you've got to bear in mind, I'm in a very old little farming community type area here in the high desert. And that just went over very well. They loved it. And then the station, of course, inevitably a year or two ago, underwent changes and the dawn of Howard Stern. Well, Howard Stern didn't go over real well here in Baroque, Nevada, as you might imagine. So Trump was left without a station. So we have rough plans to do the following. Now, it's a long process. Everything with the government and the Federal Communications Commission goes very slowly. But if granted the license, we will we'll go back to the oldies that Trump loved. And then perhaps at 11 o'clock at night through, say, 4 o'clock or 6 o'clock in the morning, we will naturally throw a switch and broadcast this program to the residents of Florida, and they can listen to their hometown boy. So there it is. And if any of you have any comments on broadcasting in general, as you know, I'm a total radio freak. I love radio every time. Shortwave, medium wave, long wave. I've been in radio since I was old enough to begin taking apart my mama's toaster. And that's, I started building little things in cardboard boxes. I started building electronics in cardboard boxes when I was very young. So there you are. And I think it was auspicious that this filing took place on this particular very historic date. And Rick down at KTUC says, and it's too bad I was not able to get it, but he actually has a recording of that scratchy first broadcast from KDKA in Pittsburgh. Now, we can get it, but it'll be a couple days late. Maybe we'll get it on for the 100th anniversary or something of radio broadcasting. Anyway, that's something new going on in my life that I wasn't able to tell you about until now. And it's very exciting for us. Now, on to the news of the day. In Miami, I'm sure you've heard another school bus problem. Another school bus in the news, bus full of children with learning disabilities, was hijacked early in the morning by some guy who said that he had tax problems with the IRS and a bomb strapped to his leg. He apparently jumped on the bus at a railroad crossing. The driver of the bus kept her head, had communication going with the police, held a mic open. A negotiation ensued and failed. A chase ensued that went on for about 15 miles at low speed. Another low-speed chase. It culminated with the crack of rifle shots, 3 of them, which entered the body of the hijacker, causing him to expire. The hijacker was a 42-year-old man named Catalino Sang, and there was only, fortunately, one child injured, so it's a godsend. The only question, well, there are a couple of questions I can think of to ask you about this. One is, again, why are so many people wigging out, flipping out? Kind of like somebody just throws a switch, boom, they go nuts. Grab a gun, grab some kids, grab some hostages. More and more and more and more of that kind of thing going on, and more chases going on. And NBC ran a pretty interesting piece from some fellow who said, what we really need, and he pointed to the OJ chase and all the other chases that have occurred, the low-speed, high-speed chases, that when carried live by, for example, any large market station, particularly in LA, they have more chases than anybody else. And it's a big ratings grabber, and so the television stations send up helicopters, and we all get to see the car chase. A bird's eye view. and it gets incredible ratings. And so this guy was on NBC saying what we need is a car chase channel. A channel devoted to nothing else but car chases. Taking feeds from all over the country, wherever the current chase might be going on. And then later at night, or in, you got to cover 24 hours. I mean, the car chase channel has to be a 24-hour channel. So that in slack times, they could replay great chases, or the greatest chases, or the earlier in the day chases, or whatever. It would be, I'll bet it would be an instant hit. Many years ago, before the genesis of the idea appeared anywhere else, I suggested on the air in Las Vegas to the 13 Western states that somebody could make $1 million if only they would start something called the Science Fiction Channel. And I said, I just gave somebody $1 million idea. It was about 3 years later. Lo and behold, along comes the Science Fiction Channel. I'm still cringing about that one. But you just spill your guts here on the air, so I thought it'd be a cool idea. All the best science fiction. Now we got it. So anyway, this one went national. I didn't do it. The Car Chase Channel. What do you folks say? Thumbs up or thumbs down? Now, before you say thumbs down, what a terrible thing to have on television, answer truthfully. Would you watch? That's the only question that really counts. Would you watch? Because if you would watch, well, people would sponsor. I wonder what kind of sponsors what would you get for a car chase channel? Tire companies, maybe. Armor-plated, bullet-resistant tires. Bulletproof glass. Oh, there, that's a good one. Bulletproof glass for the rear window. I don't know. The car chase channel. I suppose the makers of that, what do you call that thing you put on the steering wheel so you can't steal it? They probably sponsor it. Car alarm systems, they go for it. Cars generally involved in a chase. Really want to get away? You need some horsepower. That goes. I don't know. Anyway. Very serious, quickening news. The Philippines. Here's one to scare you. Typhoon Angela has had wind gusts to 230 miles per hour. You see, in the Pacific, these storms have a lot more ocean to go across, and so they build bigger. And it is looking as though the eye is going to pass right across the Philippines. Early Thursday, Angela was centered about 270 miles east of Manila, moving west at 12 miles an hour. And so I'm sure that it has already done it. 15,000 houses so far destroyed or damaged. And about 135,000 people were evacuated. So can you imagine wind gusts of 230 miles an hour? Sustained winds at 180 miles an hour. That's absolutely incredible. Incredible. Now, again, NBC following up with, this is turning into a big story. The FBI wants a national system to allow police to listen to 1 out of every 100 phone lines in high crime areas. Or they put it another way today, 1% of any big city phone system's telephone calls at any given time. I heard the president just a few moments ago on the news at the top of the hour talking something or another. I can't recall what it was. I wasn't listening that carefully, but something about American values as it relates to drugs or something or another, because we've got a story on it. But how does this phone tap thing, maybe you should have had a word or two to say about American values when it comes to that. The FBI, the government, argues that digital communications, computers, and all that make it very much important they have this new authority to have phones. Congressional approval is going to be required, so there will be a fight. The feds say it is not a new invasion of privacy. A phone company wants to meet with the FBI and will do so tomorrow to talk about exactly what it is they want to do. Are you for it or against it? Is it an American value or the perversion of an American value? Is it going after the bad guys or is it a Fourth Amendment violation of the good guys? Does the amount of crime justify doing what they want to do? I don't know. You tell me. It is an important question. Some will consider it a first step toward eventually Big Brotherism and listening to not only those who might be contemplating a criminal act, but those who might be contemplating a political act. You follow me? So it's kind of tough to keep control of this kind of thing once you get it going, and I'm very leery of it. They probably do it anyway. That's my feeling. They probably do it anyway. And so there you are. As a matter of fact, there is a new report out on drugs, and we might talk a little bit about that this morning. It says teenage drug use in America is not just skyrocketing, it is exploding. We are losing the drug war. Cocaine use is up. This is really incredible. This is teenagers that we're talking about, and the sample study involved 200,000 teens. Cocaine use is up 36% over the last 2 years. Marijuana? Check this out. 1/3 now of all high school seniors say they have smoked pot in the last year. There are more whites as a percentage than blacks using drugs. Check that one out, folks. Think about it. More whites by percentage than blacks are using drugs. And I'm sure from a black perspective, it's kind of nice for a change, not to be at the head of some negative list. And so there you are. And you would have expected exactly the opposite because of, all the talk about inner city blacks and crime and drugs and all the rest of it. But the real truth is, by percentage per capita, more whites than blacks are using drugs. Go figure. But it's true. What is sad are the number of our teens, by percentage white teens, as a matter of fact, using drugs, cocaine, pot, all the rest of it. CIA and FBI joining hands using satellite gear now to try and spot the drug shipments, drug lords, using computers to model their houses so they can raid them, they can arrest them, looking for coca fields with satellites down many levels below the CIA building in Langley. And so the CIA is turning its attention on the drug cartels. Not a bad idea, I would say. Some people say it's a bad idea that spies do not make good cops. But we've got a lot of technology, and it's nice to be able to see that we're using some of it in what I consider to be a productive way. The alternative, of course, is to simply give up. And as a lot of people want to do, legalize drugs, and then we can have some kind of America. I'll tell you what a mess that would be. No word today, further word on Boris Yeltsin, who is sickly. Okay, I guess I better break here. I don't have a lot of time. I've got a lot more for you. And I'll just read you a little more, and then we will open the lines. A couple of really interesting things. There was a Hubble shot today that was so good that, in my estimation, it paid for Hubble. And I'll tell you about it just on this Reader Network. That was Marcel hosting Coast to Coast AM on this Somewhere in Time. You're listening to Orange Bell, Somewhere in Time, not featuring host Jose Hill, from November 2nd, 1995. By Our Tell. There was earlier today the most incredible shot in paid drama for I've never seen anything like it, and I'm down on my hands and knees begging one of you. Has a good quality photograph of this new Hubble shot. You send it to me in GIF form. Email it to me. I really, really, really want a good quality copy of this photograph. What am I talking about? I bet a lot of these guys are all picture of something occurring 7,000 light years from here. And we've always wondered how stars are formed. How does a sun get to be a sun? Where does it come from? Where does the energy to create this incredible continuing reactive mass? Where does it come from? Well, they got a picture of it happening. The picture shows, for those of you that have not been lucky enough to see it yet, these gigantic towers of gas and dust and debris and energy. These incredible towers, 6 trillion miles long. Now, the numbers begin to phase you a little bit. 6 trillion miles long. And then out at the end, or tips of these giant towers, you were actually able to see the birth of stars. It looked like a tree trunk, a gigantic tree trunk. You get trees budding at the end of it, and the things budding of it. This is my description. The things budding at the edge of the branches are stars. It is a photograph, in my opinion, of the process of creation. And so if any of you have a good quality shot, if it's out on the internet or somewhere, grab it, please, and send it to me in GIF form. And we'll get it up on the bulletin board as well. It is just absolutely, it was awesome. I wonder what the rest of you thought. I just got this fact. Here, I know you've been watching CBS lately. You know why I watch CBS? Because of stupid baseball. NBC was running baseball, preempting the news, and it was really ticking me off, so I had to watch CBS. I'm going back to NBC as my prime source. Anyway, Steve goes on. This is a Steve. You have to bear that in mind. I was wondering if you saw the piece NBC did of recent Hubble photos of what can best be described as a massive dust cloud. The object over 7,000 light years away has a large abstract form. From it, tiny droplets, roughly the same size as our solar system, would form and drift out into free space. In so many words, scientists equate this to the hatching of stars. The cloud itself was an amazing image. I personally don't believe in God, but this entity had a certain godlike feel to it. I don't know what to say, Steve. You're a Steve too, and I have to agree with you. It was just absolutely nothing short of awesome. And I really, really, really want a copy of it. So hopefully somebody will fire me one. All right, let me open the phone lines and let us begin what we do here. Two-way talk radio. And unscreened, unpredictable. You guys can talk about anything you want. I don't care. It's up to you. We can just have fun. We can discuss the news. We can discuss creation as viewed by Hubble. We can discuss anything at all. The night is yours. First-time callers to the program from wherever you are. It's a little easier to get through on this line at area code 702-727-1222. 702-727-1222. The wildcard direct dial lines, area code 702-727-1295. 702-727-1295. West of the Rockies and toll free is 1-800-618-8255. That's 1-800-618-8255. East of the Great Mound, the Rockies, anywhere out east, toll free is 1-800-825-5033. 1-800-825-5033. Now, unfortunately, after ringing for a while, the phone company cuts you off and says, your party did not answer. At which point, I suggest you curse the phone company, all of their relatives, forever, and then pick up the phone and redial it. And persistence will eventually pay off, and you will get through, as evidenced by this. East of the Rockies, you're on the air. Hello.
Hello, Art. This is George from Edwardsville, Illinois.
Hi, George.
Yeah. Hey, we just got the word out here on K-Ram that you're no longer out here. What's up?
It is true, and I'm going to blow a secret out here, all right?
All right.
Let me, before I blow any secrets here, let me ask you what word you got and how you got it.
Well, it was just, I'm at work this evening, and we trained Roger Friedenberg at midnight and you at 1 o'clock at our time, and they just said that the request was made by your company that they no longer broadcast the programs.
That is correct.
Yeah.
And there's more to it behind the scenes than that I won't bother to go into.
I figured it was.
But the answer is, watch for us in the next couple of weeks on the mighty KSD.
KSD.
You got it.
You're going back to them.
You got it.
All right. I had to tell you what, K-Ram's reception has been really poor lately.
Yes, I know.
And so we're...
it was very troubled. They were on the air and off the air, and satellite troubles, and that's what I said. There's no point going into all the reasons for it. Yeah.
By the way, we were awfully disappointed we didn't get your Halloween show.
Well, I'm sorry.
But that's all right.
Anyway, as you well know, KSC has a gigantic signal, and this will open it up to all of St. Louis and well beyond.
By the way, do you know if we're going to get the full 3 hours back of Roger Friedenberg or not?
Yes, you are.
Oh, we are.
You are. And you'll get my full show, and
before I came, they kept you off at like 5:30 in the morning.
Well, that may be. I mean, all stations eventually go to a morning show, so.
We're glad to hear that because we do miss you.
Well, I'm glad to be able to give you that news. Okay, I should, but I'm not altogether certain I should have, but since you brought it up.
Well, since we didn't get you, we were kind of curious.
Yeah, well, changes the world, will change its right. Enjoy your show. Thank you, my friend. Take care. Hopefully, in the interim, why there are so many stations out there that are listenable in St. Louis that the world word will no doubt quickly get around. That'll be about 2 weeks, I'm going to guess. Wow, Caroline, you're on the air. Hello.
Oh, hi. What a surprise. I got in so quick.
Yes, it can happen.
How are you doing tonight?
Very well.
You sound upbeat.
I'm well, sure.
I love it when you're upbeat.
I'm going to.
I wanted to comment on the bus, what happened with the children on the bus today.
Yes.
Did you know anything about why they did not, or could they not get the man out? Did they actually have to shoot that man in front of those children that are already dealing with, disability?
Well, there were, I'm sure, a lot of factors that went into it. One being that he claimed, or he said, they had a bomb strapped to his leg.
Yes.
I presume they had certainly no way of, prior to examining him, knowing whether that was true or not.
Yes. Well, here on a report, I heard that he wanted to go to the restaurant where he had worked at, and I wondered if he went to that restaurant.
He did go to it, and that is where the shooting occurred. First, he wanted to go to the IRS building, And then for some reason, after the chase, they ended up at this restaurant where he used to work. Look, here's my view of things. If you say you're going to blow up a school bus of disadvantaged children, you can pretty well expect if they get a clear shot, you're dead meat. And so I can't say they did the wrong thing, and I won't.
Well, I agree with you there. I was just wondering, I had heard nothing about any real circumstances, and I just wondered if that might have been a little overreacting, or if they could have, what state of mind they had the man in when they actually shot him, since they were
think for a second that you're on a SWAT team.
Yeah.
And some guys got bombs strapped to his leg.
Yes, I have a son-in-law.
And do you want to take the time to try and rush him, giving him time to set it off? Or do you want to put a bullet through the part of his head that's going to put him down immediately?
Well, definitely would want to put him down immediately, but if you're in the process of negotiation, that's what I was concerned with. If anyone knew what.
Well, one line used was negotiate and fail. So presumably he was not negotiating in good faith or any faith at all, and was saying either the following happened from, either my tax problems are straightened out, or I don't know what was said. So.
Yeah. Okay, well listen, I love your show. Yeah, I have a very short story if you'd like me to give it for you. Then I tried calling Halloween night. It's a very interesting one.
Oh, well, it always is. Well, if you have a good Halloween story, save it for my next one.
Oh, really?
Yeah, save it for my next one.
Okay.
I love them, as you know.
Okay.
Where are you?
I'm in San Antonio.
San Antonio, Texas?
Yeah.
Well, it's a pleasure to have had you on the show.
Well, thank you very much.
And you take care. I looked at that situation with the school bus and everything. They probably had no choice. And as I say, if you do something like that, you pretty well expect to get shot. You don't do that to children disadvantaged or any other children. You hop in a school bus, try to blow it up, you're going to get shot. And I would say, deservedly so. On the first time caller line, you're on the air. Hi. Oh, I can barely hear you.
Oh my goodness, I'll talk louder. Can you hear me now?
A little bit. Well, just get right into that phone and project like you're giving a speech.
Okay.
Now that's more like it. Sure, that's better. Where are you?
I'm in Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
Baton Rouge, all right.
I just discovered you a couple of nights ago, actually, and this is the most truly eclectic talk show that I've ever heard.
Thank you. Eclectic, it is true. That's what this is. It's utterly different, and I never know where it's going to go, and that's all the fun of it.
Well, I know it's sort of it's a conscious stream of consciousness. If I can coin the term, but I too have a radio background, not on the air per se, but I worked in radio in various capacities, and I wanted to say that I was aware of this 75th anniversary thing, and you obviously have such a great love for me, because it's why you're so effective at it. So I said it may not be consequential for your listeners, but I do share the joy that you one has in starting that adventure at such a historic time. And also,
that's what it is. It's an adventure.
Yeah.
Something I've never done, and I'm ready to sink my teeth into it. It's going to be a lot of fun, and my wife is just overjoyed to find out that the closing filing date. You see, the way the commission works, you don't walk out until the very last minute. It's a strategic kind of thing.
Well, do you really believe that that's because there's all kinds of what you call it disposition you'll want? I think probably that does have something more beyond what any of us know.
I mean, it does.
Yeah. Okay, then. Well, I'm a fan, and keep up the good ones. I love your metaphysical stuff without it being, real heavy. It's just an adventure, an exploration, and I love it.
Thank you. Take care. It's when it's there. And I say again, I would really love to get some reaction from some of you who saw these towers of whatever they were. The dust, the energy, the particles, the magic. and the literal birth of a star. To me, it looked like sort of a giant tree with branches, and then at the end of them, these globules being thrown off that are stars. The birth of stars. Amazing stuff to be able to see in our lifetime. Just amazing. West of the Rockies, you're on the air, huh?
Oh, Lord, there is a God.
Oh, well,
Chris
is a God.
Bob, you had a couple questions last night I found interesting. I can't remember now when I was diving, I remember, but it had to do with what we thought of. What was it? What we thought about something.
I asked about 100 questions.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well,
a night, so I'm always asking you people what you think.
I know, it's a very interesting one. Now, trying to the creation situation,
yes.
You know, you all have that, and I think the fellow that should take our free will of choice would be absolutely the only way that everyone could know that was a supreme being, and he didn't ever do that. But my husband says there's only one new thing on this earth, and that's a baby, because it's a fresh sperm and a fresh ovum.
Yeah, I know. Well, I thought some evidence of creation might have been the birth of stars. The photograph yesterday, man, was absolutely
great.
It's one of those ones that stops you cold.
Yeah, I know. Now, one more thing, please. Have you heard of a book by an Officer X? It's a cops honest look at life on the street.
No.
I think you really find it interesting as a guest, and the book is fascinating.
Well, I once had Agent X on the show. All right, thank you very much. Agent X, I remember him. We had Agent X, who was an alleged, and I believe him to have been definitely a real McCoy, an ATF agent who debated on the air quite heatedly, I guess, with Linda Thompson. Oh, that was a wild one. That went on for about 2 or 3 hours. Do the wild thing. 702-727-1295. Okay, go right ahead. First time caller line. You're on the air. Hi.
Good evening, Art. Chris in Salt Lake City.
Hi, Chris.
2 questions. One question and a comment.
Okay.
Were you on-air personality on KS11 or KRLA in Los Angeles?
No.
Okay.
Turn off your radio.
Oh, I did. I'm sorry. It's the wrong choice. And then my comment last night that my girlfriend and I were listening to your show, and she got really irate about President Clinton wanting to send out the troops to the Boston region, and you're asking what would it be is the logic behind it, and
In any area other than compassion, which is not justification for taking American life, I'm all for compassion, but I'm not going to throw a lot of people into a meat grinder because I'm sorry they're having a war. I want you to talk back live on CNN yesterday. They were trophy as this crap. Compassion, my channel. Compassion might be feeling for our own.
correct. She made the comment of why does he have to do this, especially if Richard said, don't you know that they're tearing families apart? And a little light bulb lit up above my head, and it dawned on me. Well, that President Clinton, I believe he is a communist, and they really, the communists manifesto doesn't really protect families, they protect individuals. But he's not, sir.
He's not a communist.
Well, anyway,
Look, yes, sir, even communists at least have convictions. They have convictions. This man, nearly as I can tell, is convictionless. Believes in what he not get a police. So if he has conviction, it is in wanting to get reelected. For about his time continues. Mark Bell, coast to coast anyhow. More somewhere in time coming up. Pioneer Network presents Mark Bell, somewhere in time. Tonight featuring Coast to Coast Anyhow. From November 2nd to 1991. Great to be here. It's great rain and clear night with about 3/4 Really good. Clear shot of the solar all networks yesterday over the first stories. Absolutely incredible. Listen, some lady last hour described my profile as eclectic. I'm very proud of that. Thank you. So, eclectically, we will in call. Well, I guess Dr. Lee, and remember Dr. Lee, Dr. Lee, right? This is the Dr. Lee handwriting. His name is Martin Walton. And he's in Britain, probably London. So I'm going to pick up the phone and do it again. We'll do a short interview with Dr. He is the chief forensic guy. To declare the note that Chris Ronnie talked about in the interview. The supposed alleged suicide note of his foster to be an absolute out-and-out forgery. And we're going to see if Chris Ronnie's claims about Mr. Alder's, I suspect they are. So I'll pick up the phone call and those are. Actually, that go in there. I am not devoutly religious, but I do feel sorry for Steve. Especially all Steve's. For it must be a private hell just to be so profoundly unintelligent. We did finally receive your book, both copies yesterday. So far, it appears to be a very good read. We're listening on Talk Radio 810 KCMO, the station's so big. It's all letter from Mars over town. Thanks for the great show. Hound Dog and Nightshade. Hound Dog and Nightshade. And again, it really blew my mind. Other than the beauty and awesomeness of these autographs, was that we were privileged to see in real time something that happened 7,000 years ago in real time. It was this is issue for precious because they are truly worthy of premium and time. Well, you're gonna have to, get paid. We loaded little taxpayers. How's our money put huddled up there? You shouldn't have to pay. On a much sadder note, here we go from awe-inspiring to the very boring. On a much sadder note, did you hear the news about the young mother in, I believe, Michigan? I haven't. Who drowned her few weeks old baby in a pond near her house, threw her baby in a pond to stop it from crying. Where will this ever stop, Art? Charlotte, listening to KEX Charlotte, I don't know. It's not going to stop, Charlotte, until something changes, and that's what I view that we're rushing toward some great change. And not to be outdone, Mark, the avowed atheist in Louisiana, who faxes but never calls, says the following, Mark. Regarding your opinion that through the ages, some religious stories may have been exaggerated. If you ask a number of people which fruit Adam, when tempted by Eve, ate, most would say an apple. I would have said that. Oh, no. Genesis only mentions that Adam ate from the fruit of a tree. Well, apple part was added later by some non-spirit person. Only a teacher. The Bible would make a good movie on the science fiction. Mr. Rocky, is your on-air line? Yes, that is true. Thank you. Are you familiar with the term gurgle? Yes. Well, it's not a term. I suppose it's just a word, isn't it? Gurgle. Gurgle. That would be a term. But look, Nevada, depending on whose future maps you want to read, Nevada also is with the sheets. So, you know, I mean, we gotta live this one day at a time, or are you gonna hide, right? So, you know, I mean, take some swimming lessons, what can I say? And also, I'm wondering about Steve's, what's the deal with these guys? I wasn't listening recently. Steve's are a secret society. And, well, here's the way it began. One night we were discussing a very serious topic, and that is that, having lost the Soviet Union as an enemy, we are turning inward on ourselves, throwing babies into ponds, whatever the latest story is, that kind of thing, right? So we need something, we need a focus of hate. And so one night we had a dream of we do need somebody to hate. I suggested my neighbor Steve. Steve is a worthless slob of a human being. Steve is not worthy of even the term human. He's that bad. So he should be hated. And then people started calling in and saying, it's true, all Steves generally should be hated. Why not? Steves probably are a bunch of no goods. So we've got a hate Steve movement going, and Steves probably have a plot to try and take over the world, and so we need to fight them. You know, just about every place we turn, every time we get an opportunity, Steves need to be fought. Okay. Eliminated. Well, that might be a little strong. Take no tickets. So, we hate Steves. Okay? Remember, hate Steves. And we get over here. We'll move to bombs. If Steves are insufficient, then it's going to be bombs. Wildfire line, you're on the airplane. Oh, hi. Oh, hi. Jerry in LA. Oh, Jerry. You know, you were just talking about the original ascent was taken from the people of good and evil. We did Ezekiel 31. Adam was good. And, no, it was from the people of good and evil. Well, there were only two, supposedly, at the beginning, right? No, there was Adam, there was Eve, wasn't there? If you read the Bible, the year, sir, we all know, rises from the woman. Here. I would say that the UFO people are in charge of people with knowledge of good and evil. If you read Genesis carefully, you'll notice that they talk about Ethiopia, Syria, and some others. That countries that were already around. Did you happen to see the Hubble picture? Yeah. Okay, well, that was kind of like watching Genesis, sir, in action. That's the way I view it. Kind of like watching Genesis in action. It was incredible. Absolutely astounding. And I told my wife, I said, you gotta see this. Just awesome. I've got to have that photograph. I don't care what it takes. I've got to have it. Creation. Natural. In progress. Creation, albeit 7,000 years ago. But creation. It almost looked like, I would call it, I love naming things, the tree of life. It didn't look like a giant tree trunk with branches. And at the end of the branches, like a lit Christmas tree, the birth of stars. Totally awesome. East of the Rockies, you're on the air now. Hello? Hi, turn your radio off and tell us where you're calling from. Rochester, New York. Rochester. All right, big wave. Well, actually, HTK in Romania. Actually, WKM, they're sister stations. Okay. Well, I'm saying WKM. Beg your pardon? WKM. Yeah, WHAM. Yeah. Yes. And we just sort of like to talk about maybe AM radio. Well, I'm all up for that. Okay. In my mind right now, you still have your radio on, don't you? Sir, sitting down in the lower way and trying to get away from it, but I see what it's confusing because there is a delay. That's the first thing about your radio, you've got to know talk shows. We have a delay, 7 seconds. If you sit there listening to your own voice, it's going to make you sound very confused. Well, I know. Generally speaking, I'm very confused. I'd like to congratulate your wife, first of all, for even filling out the form for FCC. No kidding. We're trying to get a radio license. No kidding. I have no idea, or maybe you do. Who's involved? Well, I do. I mean, I would love it on an AM radio station. Well, it's FM Oregon. Okay. Well, that's just a turn. Yes, it is. It is. And, this is the first night that you've been on the air. No, it's the first night you've heard us. I took calls from Rochester all for about an hour last night. Nothing's up. Okay, then that's the second night. No. Okay. Anyway, you do a great show. Well, it's, quick. And, well, I just asked you, some questions. You mentioned Howard Stern. Yes. I can't really name myself either. What is your opinion on he's also somewhat irreverent, not like Stern, and he's funny. Even Stern, frankly, is funny, but Stern, I mean, you can imagine, I'm in a little farming town, all right? Well, I grew up in Northern Vermont. Okay, so there you are. Yeah. And we've got a radio station that is in between Las Vegas and my little town. And while Stern goes over, no doubt, very well in Las Vegas, which is very cosmopolitan, you're in this little farming town, Stern goes over like lead moon. What, I kid you? No, you won. You know, it's actually with your one of the few talk show hosts that really come out with the truth. No, I've come out with opinions. If you agree with me, then you're probably sitting there saying, God, that guy's really telling the truth. Otherwise, what a nerd. No, I mean, you don't know what the Pacho did come out and say you're an atheist nowadays. I'm not an atheist. No, I don't believe in God, but yes, I do. Well, sir, are you listening to my show? Are you listening to some other show? Are you listening to Tom Likas? No, look. You are. You're listening to Likas, I can tell. No, I'm not. I'm not an atheist. Yes, you did. I see. Well, there it is. Let's take it around. There surely is a creator, doesn't he? I believe there's a creator. And I believe you can see his force at work in a photograph just taken by Hubble. Get this business, I'm an atheist. I read facts from Mark the Atheist down in Louisiana. I'm not an atheist. I don't even really believe in atheists. I mean, sometimes atheists just say that to give people some attention because I don't think inside they really believe it. Maybe they do. Maybe I'm not giving them proper credit. An atheist. The only person I know on the air who says he's an atheist is Tom Likas. And I'm getting paid to thanks. East of the Rockies, you're on the air. Good morning. Where are you? I'm in Indiana. You're out there right in the middle. Yeah, it is cold here. Is it? Winter has arrived. I think it's well with inflation. You know, when I was doing the interview yesterday in Kansas City, everybody was saying, it's snowing. I was sitting about 70 degrees. Well, you're one of the fortunate ones. Well, you say that now, but then in midsummer I tell people, just hit 117 today if they think harder about it. Right. Hey, I was wondering if I could get political on you for just a second. Sure. Hey, I was wondering, I'm a recent college graduate, and I was in school, I found it very difficult to find time to speak out on political issues. Right. But now that I've had some time out, I've been listening to late night talk shows, reading editorial, things like that. I found myself, we had a gentleman for presidential campaign, Bill Keane. I'm wondering if you've heard of him or. No, I interviewed him. You did interview him, sure. What's your feeling on that? Well, I tell you what I am. I'm looking at your show now. Gentleman called in and said that he built the greatest girls in the nation. He is the largest candidate when he was but you can't no, and probably Colin Powell as the invented, or it's going to be Powell. That's what's really going to happen. So we can talk about these other candidates, but I'm very pragmatic. And I know there's a core of really strong support for people like Buchanan and Keyes, but it's very small, sir. And so I'm sorry. I believe that what I just said to you is accurate. It's going to be gold. It's going to be made. It's going to be obviously the president and maybe Colin Powell. You're probably right. And I just think that the issues that they talk about and that he's bringing forward are not overlookable. We're going to try to solve some of the problems. What they're doing, sir, is not trivial. Matt Buchanan, Alan Keyes, and others will push some issues into the campaign as they take shape that need to be talked about. And so that's, I guess, how I view their function. And they will do it very accurately. Great. In other words, they will shape to some degree that may make the other candidates talk about things they otherwise wouldn't touch with a 10-foot pole. Right. Which needs to be done. Yeah, exactly right. So it's good to support the campaign. Yes, sir. Great. Thank you, sir. I appreciate your call. He's just being rough. He's your party here. Talk with me. Good morning. Hi, where are you? I'm in Memphis, Tennessee. Listening to WNC. The mighty WNC, yes, sir. Yeah. You were talking with a guy about the FM station, game station, 814. Well, it depends on which filing. If you're filing a very complicated filing where you're putting up a very directional AM signal, then yes, it does get far more complicated. Oh, yeah. But trust me, sir, the forums for AM for FM are they're very imposing. Yeah, I've seen several of them. I've seen some well, I'm an engineer. I had a first class radio and telephone license when I was 13, early on, and but I'm not done enough to have done this myself, so I went out and hired professionals, an engineering firm and attorneys and all the rest of it. God, it's a mess. How many 6,000 big ones. 6,000. I think so, yeah. Something special on there, special subscribers? Well, it's definitely possible. Yeah, look, we're going to do the whole thing. I'm really looking forward to it. I'm very excited about it. And you've got to admit, it's a pretty cool day. The filing date closed, so I can talk about it now. The filing date closure was November 2nd, the 75th anniversary of broadcasting. Pretty neat, huh? One other thing, your friend Charles, you're acquainted with Charles. The liberal guy. Oh, Charlie. Yeah. So what about him? He's a big man, and I would like to prescribe a single injection. Let's hold it right there. I can imagine the kind of injection you're talking. It's like you receive while you're strapped down, I think. Right? That was our bell was in coast to coast AM on this summer. Now, think about it. You have somewhere in time. And all these practices are people down in Los Angeles listening to KABC. And inevitably they're saying things like, when you first came on the air, I didn't think I was going to like your program at all. I was wrong. And when put in my book. I didn't put it in my book. Here we go. But I wrote a big section in the book about political processing and Tom Brady. And I know that I'm right. And I really don't mean to put anybody else down because I really enjoy Rush Limbaugh. Mike Murphy and I talked about this yesterday. I did an interview with Casey Mo with Mike Murphy here. He did it with me at Video Interviews. And I have a lot of states on the radio. He said it shouldn't be any single thing. That's some of the rest. He knows what he does very well, but it's rare. And it was fine and function. Now, some of you get 3 hours of it or whatever portion of it you get. I'm coming to you, you would think you would be there. And what you're here is the listeners to. So we do whatever we do. Whatever seems worthy of talking about or fun to be talking about or equal to be talking about. But it's certainly ever the same. And it's all we can keep doing. Actually, President Roosevelt called us on such a president of had convictions. So this isn't saying what's saying, right, President has no convictions. Well, see, you can't give him a theory if you followed by an all-expense vacation in the Grand Hotel. Pretty good. And then somebody here said, Art, I sent you the photo via AOL. And who arrives in a GIF condition or a JPG condition? Because sometimes when people send me things, they come in hex code, and I don't know how to convert them. It's a mess. Anyway, it signs Steve, and then it says there's no arrow pointing up to Steve. Steve, it says, yes, we're taking over. And then that's followed by this Art. This is truly blasphemous without question. It says Art God has a name, and his name is Steve. Steve. Art, I think it's funny. Read on. You and millions of others choose to repeat the same mistake Adam made in the Garden of Eden. He could have eaten of the tree of eternal life in the garden, but he chose to eat of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil instead. You do the same thing. Both trees are still here, but only a lightweight thinker would ignore immortality. When the other choice is pursued, he knows the results in death. Damn, pretty rough. Well, the way I heard it, he infected him with it. I was going to say apple. The fruit, right? He gobbled it all. Went for it. Like a guy in ancient times. In modern times, he probably would have slit her throat, taken the fruit, eaten it, and then got off. What's the Rockies? You're on the air. Hello. Hello. Goodbye. First time caller line, you're on the air. Good morning. Hi, Ron. Yeah, on the WMC. I want to call you Memphis also. I'm fine. First time I tried to call and got in there. Well, that's why we have this first time caller line, so that people trying to get through can get through. Right on. I just wanted to look at this, and I also sent you the picture of the call Creeper through AOL. Now, is sort of a hair storm. I downloaded from NASA. If you attach it to, I think, to email, then it comes as a GIF or can be sent as a GIF. And it comes in the GIF file. Oh, man. Well, that photograph, how did it affect you? It was actually kind of crazy pictures. This is the first time I seen it. I heard you talking about it over the air. I wouldn't have said creepy. To me, it was very when you watch creation, you watch a story. Did you actually see it turn to a star? Did it go that far? Well, the one they showed on the network, yes. Okay, well, the picture that NASA released is it's dark almost like tree trunk. Yes. That's what happens with tree trunks, yeah. Okay, the Rotary Network actually showed the stars on the end of one of the branches of the trunk. Several stars, yeah. An amazing thing. He's on creepy, huh? One of my first reactions, kind of that. The cabin imagery looking at it, first time ever seen it quite like that. Well, there are those, I guess, who would watch the birth of a human being and think of it as creepy or some guys who watch and faint. But it's really quite a miracle. Life is a miracle. And the birth of a star is a miracle as well. It really is. All right, well, thanks very much for calling Memphis, Tennessee, Mighty WMC, Memphis. I'll remind you, on here. All right, what's the expiration date on the particular level service? I mean, are we going to be doomed to listen to them forever, or are they going to finally admit in a couple of 100 years, for instance, that they're all wet? Well, they won't be here in a couple 100 years, right? They'll be gone. Oh, so what if I'm an immortal, though? Well, are you? Okay, so you'll never get to say, na 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 na. I won't say, na 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 na. My daddy will think that I do in rain fire. Yeah, remember the pictures of those guys in long white robes and them beards? And walking around. One day they'll be right. Yeah, at least on a personal level. A billion years from now, the planet will probably go you know, I'm sure the dinosaurs were saying that, walking around, crunching on the ground, eating leaves, standing in the school, nothing could ever happen. And then, what happened? It's depression. Well, not really, because if it happened, where would we get our oil? Oil, you know where the oil came from? Look at a map of the oil deposits in the Middle East. Yes. And you'll see that all that stuff was deposited by an asteroid or real high hydrocarbon asteroid grazing the Earth. No, look at the national. Now you're Eastern, sir. Your second story is in conflict with your first. Well, maybe the same asteroid that deposited all the oil killed the dinosaurs. And the dinosaurs, however, the biomass in the living dinosaurs wouldn't fuel a Honda Civic for more than a year. All right, thank you. Well, I appreciate your theories, but I think it is generally accepted that the dinosaurs contributed greatly to the substance we know as raw petroleum. That is true. At least that's what I was taught. Don't get me wrong. Now, at first he said, there's nothing going to hit the earth. And then he said, well, the oil came from a grazing, he called it, of the earth. By an asteroid. Can't have it both ways, or I guess maybe you can. East of the Rockies, you're on the air. Good morning.
Hello.
Hi, where are you?
From Southern Pines, North Carolina.
Southern Pines, North Carolina. Yes, sir.
I wanted to comment on the concealed weapon. I on the news that there was a cop in Winston-Salem, North Carolina, that was off-duty and ended up in a shootout. Apparently, off-duty gun with him.
Yes.
He ended up in a shootout with a robber.
Yes.
And the robber shot at him, and the bullet grazed his pants leg.
Yes.
And the cop returned fire and basically took him out. The guy died on his way to the hospital.
Well, then, bon voyage. That's what I said, bon voyage. And, it's nice to hear about the cops living and the bad guys not, occasionally.
Yeah.
One thing that is something you absolutely should not do, and that's shoot at a cop on or off duty. Bad form.
Well, a lot of times the newspaper will have it like the chief are saying carrying concealed weapons are a bad thing for dying citizens.
Oh, I see. So you're trying. Okay, I've got you. So you're trying to make the point that carrying a concealed weapon will reduce crime, and it's my view as well. That a lot of people walking around with concealed weapons aren't going to make anybody committing a crime more nervous than they would be otherwise about doing stuff. It just makes common sense. And in addition, we have now a concealed law passed here in Nevada as well, and it is sweeping across the country. So as more and more people carry guns, legitimate, honest citizens, it is my view, there will be less crime, not more. And so far, stats seem to bear it out. First time caller line, you're on the air.
Well, hi, Art, this is Jeff from Anchorage, Alaska.
Hi, Jeff.
How you doing?
Very well.
Yeah, listen, one of the things that was really interesting was that I happened to pick up your show just last Friday night, and it was unbelievable when I heard your conversation with Richard C. Holman, and following through that on with last night's show with Stan Dale in Australia.
Yes, the last night's show with Stan Dale was awesome. Anyway, go ahead, sir.
Okay, well, first of all, I also heard through a friend of mine that you had one time been up here on KENI radio.
I did the morning show on KENI.
Yeah, well, I was real surprised because, gee, don't get me left, after listening to your shows for the last couple of nights, and a friend of mine told me that he used to listen to you all the time. I said, geez, I guess maybe you didn't like Alaska or something.
No, you're wrong. I lived there 3 years and I loved it. I absolutely loved it.
Oh, it's a great place. And I'm someone transplanted from California. I've been up here about 15 years now. When Stan Dale said that, one gal called Anchorage last night, I said, well, there's nothing there about Anchorage or Alaska. I was like, seriously? I said, geez, I crossed my fingers. I said, that's great. We just had a shaker here nights ago.
I know. Actually, I'm quite serious with them, man. You are part of the Ring of Fire.
Yeah, but anyway, the one thing that I think was most intriguing and first of all, it was totally mesmerized with Richard C. Holman become tetrahedral physics. Yes, and going through what was happening and being on the island like that. I guess like I'm sure you're going to say anything on the news. They're being real secretive about Redone, as you had mentioned, and I go down to the elevator right so we can see what it's actually.
By the way, there was one of news on NBC anyway last night about the curtain of silence and secrecy has now descended. You'll see them shaking hands grudgingly, and I think that's the last thing we're going to see.
And I agree with you 100%. And I agree with you a lot of things you're discussing. They secrecy that our government not informing us that they don't want us to know what's going on. And then in particular with Stan Dale said regarding the I might have gotten this just looking off, but talking about the anti-grav or the thing that the technology was there is back in the 60s. Yeah. Anyway, I just find it all so a lot of stuff fascinating, and I think the argument is there for me to convince my wife that it's finally in time to get a computer so that we can all become the internet and start playing more.
Well, you're right about that. I absolutely love it, Sarah. Listen, I'm going to thank you. Very quickly, I'll give you my email address. I guess I didn't do that. It is Ardbell, no spaces, just ARTBELL at AOL.com. Very simple, Ardbell at AOL.com. If you want to get into our news group, I can tell you how to do it on AOL. You internet people will know how to do it with various other providers. On AOL, you just go keyword news groups. When you get in there, hit expert ad, and put in ALT.FAN dash Let me begin again. ALT.FAM.ARG-BELM. Easy as that. ALT.FAM.ARG-BELM. Phone call. Sorry to be associated with such name. Cutting people off. And these are the Rockies. You're on the air. Good morning.
Hello, ourselves. Hi, I'm calling from Williamsburg, Northwest Connecticut. And the first time I heard you was last April when I was in Maui, Hawaii.
Oh, we are in Maui.
Yes, that's the first time I ever heard you.
Now you're in Northwest Connecticut.
Yes.
You're listening to what?
WHAMIS.
Rochester, amazing. Yes.
Of course, this whole thing is encouraging.
Well, I'll tell you what. Something called the selection tab. You can cut out 90% of the feed. Selection tab is like $54 somewhere. I guarantee 90% of the feed will be on these. So amazing.
Well, that's great. I was going to ask you how I could encourage local stations or stations in the area to carry in programming. We sure need a bunch of this year.
Well, I'll tell you actually.
Over a population of about 1,200.
1,200.
But of course, I'm not talking Hartford or WCIC.
Well, I definitely say call WTIC and say, hey, you guys check this out. It's on your camera.
Yeah, I sure will do that. And I wonder if you remember any more really well to provide talking about
Oh, no, you're not. Good for you. And Martin, that's your daughter. You don't know me earlier today.
yeah.
And people were talking about who Hawaii is overnight. And I'm looking at him sleep and and so he has the discount his phone. But that man was the best on, and there's ongoing performance. And Martin, is gone. So he can decide on one of these days. Time continue. Art Bell hosting Coast to Coast AM. Or somewhere in time. You're listening to Art Bell, somewhere in time. Tonight featuring Coast to Coast AM from November 7th to 9th. Can everybody let me hear Art Bell? As you may or may not recall, depending on how long you've been listening to the program, we did a interview And Rachel E. Alton is the doctor William handwriter. He is a world-recognized expert in handwriting examination and manuscript. He has 30 years of experience in the field of forensic document examination. During his period at Oxford University on handwriting and manuscripts, including the detection of forgery, unlimited forgery, and the identification of handwriting to search students in the University of Oxford. In recent years, he ruled on charges that some manuscripts of the late C.S. Lewis were a forgery. He validated their authenticity. He's ruled on numerous question documents and antique manuscripts. Some great military value, including such noteworthy historical figures as Shelley, Christina Rossetti, modern authors like Oscar Wilde. He's been consulted by civil bodies and by British police authorities as testified as expert witness in British courts on criminal matters relating to question documents, anonymous letters, and other forgeries. Mr. Robin MA is a Emeritus Fellow of St. Edmund Hall University in Oxford. Is currently Dean of Degrees at St. Edmund Hall, Oxford's oldest institution for undergraduates. Was a fellow, chair, and vice principal of St. Edmund Hall, served as chairman of the English faculty, as well as lecturer at the Pierce and Exeter colleges in the University of Oxford. So, another really heavyweight, and I don't know exactly where he is, but I know he's somewhere in Galway, England. Mr. Alton, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Well, first of all, welcome to the program.
And to let you.
Where are you right now in England?
I'm sitting in the middle of
Oxford at Mondale, okay. I take it you examine carefully, and I don't know a lot about handwriting analysis, so I'm going to ask you to just give me a little basic education by asking you the following question. Is it how exact a science is it?
one does a great deal of measuring first. Secondly, it's an executive science not to want to do it from photocopies. In this case, the forgery seemed to be so clearly a forgery that it was possible to pronounce it so even from photocopies of this curious document and from photocopies of authentic documents written by Paul Foster.
Here in America, we were treated to the spectacle of the O.J. Simpson trial, and they had DNA experts who gave us mind-boggling numbers. Do you do that same sort of mathematical work when you try and determine whether something is a forgery?
See with naked eye and learn through magnifying apparatus that the hand that produced the question document is not the hand that writes normally as paper Foster. The implication that in this case, even though he looked at them, the attempt has been made to make things difficult for the examiner. They just don't do this broadcasting with visual visual matter. Yes, they just go to this with the voice. Yes, of course, radio is the theater of the mind. But if you can give it to us in layman's terms, what jumped out at you? You said it was very obviously a forgery. So something or some things obviously jumped out at you and said it's a forgery. Things that jumped at you, the things that seemed essential to me, one fact that the forger had not understood the way Foster made the letter. He was
was able somewhat laboriously to reproduce the shapes that Foster made on the paper, but not, for instance, the characteristic number of strokes or the characteristic movement quality. Foster used 31 strokes minuscule b, lowercase b, the forger uses 3, and you can see that even from the photocopy, from where the letters are printed on the page. Again, Foster's characteristic movement of the hammer, and if any of your listeners are awake enough to do it, is to make a counterclockwise movement, so that when you write high hand, for instance, he writes a series of words are called sway, that is, from the shape, he does it very elegantly, easy movement, rhythmic, really quite artistically, the torture. Fortunately, the man is quite contrary. He makes 10 more often than Foster does, and one has to count the number of letters. Also, makes copies of the documents and cuts them up into small pieces and puts them together so that you have, you're not being taken in by meaning of the page. Is that any help?
Well, that is help. I also understand it was ripped, I guess, into 28 pieces.
Oh, that's an immediate signal when one ought to look at look with such suspicion at any document which turns up unexpectedly, any manuscript, literary manuscript, category manuscript, anything which turns up unexpectedly and has been distressed, like we have the phrase called effaced.
Yes.
Should be immediately subject to suspicion.
Well, what added to that also is the fact that how do you rip something into 28 pieces without leaving fingerprints on just that fingerprint piece?
I'm not a fingerprint expert, but I don't know. I only deal with this. I don't know how you do it with the fingerprints.
Where it was.
I suppose you wake up.
I would like to ask you this.
You're not looking for Foster to do a score up there, and before it suddenly appeared a week later. I believe it is research showing 3 days, which is relatively late to say something of about death of 2 times. Right, 2 times. Oh, it was interesting about several days later. They call your puppies what he sees, they find deliberate strength, and then he deliberately ends from this where he's not really trying to outside. It's not winter. Which was the idea, he's the moon, breathing from the I think, by the way, these differences are to understand. I think,
You probably
The differences are not the differences I have observed.
all right. Well, finally, I guess I would ask you this, or perhaps semi-finally. You examined this document with 2 other handwriting experts, and it is noticed they also came to the same conclusion you did.
I did not know either of them. I have not met either of them before. I have not met any of the people
some documents in Washington. Political
So then you do conclude, summarize here, that beyond any shadow of a scientific doubt, this was the forgery.
I think beyond any shadow of doubt in my mind that this document is a deliberate
That is such a startling conclusion with such very important implications. I'm wondering, have you been contacted by any congressional or Senate staff or investigative committees in this country?
No.
Do you consider that to be Thank you for joining us. We've been a very busy schedule, and we will score now that you really have a great deal of keep in front of what I'm saying. So thank you for people giving me supporting all of these details. And I'll be there. Take care. That's Dr. R.T. Watson from Oxford. And if you did not mind what Chris Roddy had to say, and perhaps he was bored of Dr.